So talking about my first venture, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur probably by the time I was about 6 or 7. I had friends in first and second grade that I guess the big thing was pencil fighting. So they had this chain of stores that's now CVS. It used to be called People's Drugstore in the Washington metropolitan area. So I'd have my mom go and buy me packs of pencils for $1, and then I would sell each one of the pencils for a quarter or 50 cents, and that was how I got on the lunch line. You can get the regular lunch, you can get the chocolate milk with the brown carton or the red carton, or you can get the fruit punch in the styrofoam cup with the extra cookie. Or at my high school, well, once I got to high school, you had things like baked potatoes and things like that, but you had to have the money. So not only did I have pizza, but the little girl that I, liked had pizza as well. So that's the earliest time that I recognized that I was going to be an entrepreneur. And all throughout junior high school and really high school, where I started my car detailing service, my lawn service with one of my next door neighbors, working with my father at his particular, he had a place called the Pit Stop Barbecue, where he had 4 restaurants around the Washington, D.C. metro area. And for a long time, I was a cashier, when I could only stand on a milk box and yell out orders like rib tips or, pork ribs or rib platter or rib dinner and all that kind of stuff. So it was a real unique situation growing up in my household. Everybody that's in my family is an entrepreneur. My parents were divorced and both remarried, so I have a dad and a stepmother who are entrepreneurs. I have a mom and a stepfather who are also both entrepreneurs. So I guess it hit me from, all 4 corners. And I definitely see its value. I like setting my days up. I like it when, if I'm not feeling well, I can leave when I need to. Very demanding, though. Entrepreneurship is something that is it's one of the most passionate things that you'll ever do in your life. However, there's a distinction in the fact that even when you're employed, you're an entrepreneur because you're talking about the business of you and what you do for your particular company. And if you don't understand that and you think, I'm going to go get a job and just for job's sake, those don't exist anymore. So those are some of the high-level things that I learned from being an entrepreneur. Each individual has his or her own path. I was given a scripture not too long ago, and it's really about spending time with yourself so that you can allow the voice in the ether, no matter what your higher power is, to guide you to what is the best path for you. Education was it was ingrained in me. So when I went to undergrad, I knew that I was going to go to grad school. I was actually a piano major when I was an undergrad at Howard University, and then I got my law degree and my MBA at the same time at Georgetown University. And this is all, again, while I was a law fellow my first year of business school. And I worked at a record company, MCA Records, which is now MCA Universal, or maybe I think it's just Universal Music right now. And had some great experiences, so it's really the mixture. I don't think that there's such thing as, either or, it's and both, or I don't think that education, there's a downside to education. There can never be a downside to education. You get networks, you get exposure, you get support, and the exposure is very important. Experience is the best teacher. And honestly, I would say, when you're in a focused, structured educational program, you get to learn through the case method, especially in law school. You're learning old cases, and in business school, you're learning cases from other businesses where people failed. And this is what you want to know. You want to know how they failed and then how they figured it out, because that's where the most growth happens. When you do things right, you just keep doing them. Most people don't continue to grow. But I will tell you this, you will fail. And life at certain things, but it's what you call it. Is it failure, or is it a part of the process where it's just, it's an obstacle? It's like going on a trip from, I can use a great example in D.C., going on a trip down North Capitol. You start at Michigan Avenue and you see the Capitol, you know what your goal is, but it can be bumpy sometimes, especially after a snowstorm and they put the salt down and your car's going boom, 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 boom. Those aren't failures. Those are obstacles, and they make it difficult. Traffic makes it difficult. The key to success in life and the things that you do is just to overcome those obstacles and keep your focus on that big capital, that big goal, that big star, your passion, your dreams at the end of the street. Core skills for entrepreneurship, your number one skill that you need is the skill and the ability to listen. And I know that when you talk about core skills, most people think, well, do I need to know Microsoft Excel? Yeah, you do. Do I need to know marketing? Yes, you do. Do you need to know, things like social media? Definitely. Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest. MySpace is not as relevant as it used to be. LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn now, when you're a professional and you're seeking out business, those are great. But all those skills allow you to do is to get numbers and or analysis or reach people based on the fact that you're giving them a product because you listened to a need. Most people don't think that. They think, well, this is my product and I'm going to push it on you. This is what I think. No matter if it's what you think or not, even you have to listen to yourself. I work under a paradigm that's called the PEL. Dream, plan, execute, listen, and learn. Most people in business that I've seen, they dream or come up with an idea. They put the plan together. Some of the plans I've seen are much better than others. And then they go out and they execute. What most people don't do, though, at the end is listen and learn from the process of dreaming, planning, and executing. Business is cyclical. You see our economic cycle right now. It's up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. The stock market up, it goes down, it goes up, 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 up. It's been going up for a while. I can guarantee you, I would lay my life on the line, as have seen in the last couple of days. It's going to go down, and it's inevitable. It's just the way things work cyclically. But you have to listen. Why is it going down? Numbers don't tell you anything except the questions to ask. Why is it going down? Who made it go down? What can I do to turn it around? What needs have I not met? And when you start thinking in that way, you're really setting yourself up for success. And I think that is the most important life skill, period. Whether you're in a personal relationship and you're getting married, whether you are listening to a teacher, girlfriend, boyfriend, things of that nature, that is the key to success. Listening to that person that you're giving that service or that product to. It's really interesting because if you look at the Great Recession and you look at the idea of regulation or lack thereof, it really makes you think, because there are a group of us out there that don't want any kind of regulation at all. Citizens that are they feel the government is too big. They feel that if you have regulation in particular markets, that it's a bad thing. I fall somewhere. I think excessive regulation is a problem. However, I do not want to leave it to the private sector to make sure that the FAA functions properly. I fly a lot. I do not trust them in cutting corners as it relates to whether or not a plane is going to run into another plane. I do trust the government. I do trust the FAA. I think that they do their best, and that has certain, there's certain governmental oversight policies, rules, procedures that allow us to make sure that, again, you have close calls, but then we figure out what happened, why, and make sure that we institute the change to fix that. I think it's the same thing as it relates to the policy of things like Great Recession and the subprime debacle, we'll call it, or the housing bubble. And, I think that the American dream also, I think it's an articulation of a dream problem, and that, getting a house and owning your own home is a great thing, and it's great for some people. Others, it may not be. Getting a house that is beyond your means is absolutely not the thing to do without the ability to create the economics around it. Because the only difference between economic prosperity and a depression, if you ask me, is more of a state of mind. And we have a lot of people out here right now that I call the walking dead. They're zombies. They're existing. Nobody's living life. Thus, that's why I also believe that entrepreneurship is the way out of this, because it's your personal passion. And your personal passion is that thing that gets you up every day if you weren't making money.